What's up and welcome back, Wargamers. This is David with Battleshock Wargaming, and I've got a special guest in the studio today to talk about the new GHB battle plans. Welcome to the channel, Jared.
Hey, Wargamers. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me, David.
Heck yeah, I've been wanting to get Jared on this channel forever. He's my boy from Idaho. I live in the Northwest on the Washington-Oregon border, and we're going to talk tactics and GHB stuff today. Jared and I have been playing Warhammer for a long time. He's a phenomenal Lumineth player.
Hey, thank you, David. Yeah, we've been talking about this for a long time. I'm just glad to see this vision come to fruition.
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, since we can start live streaming with our YouTube capabilities now, I really want to have you out here more often because I love the way that you talk tactics and you're a great, great player.
I plan on it. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, no problem at all. So Jared and I recently went to the San Diego Open. He placed 6th with his Lumineth Realm Lords, 4-1. You did fantastic on the second day, man.
I got some PTSD from Dragfoot, man. What is that, Bone Splitters?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Well, you got to play Tom Guan with his million big saddle list.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I've never been pinned in my deployment like that before, ever. Like,
yeah.
Take the first turn. I'm already in your face. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is how this is going to go.
Well, I'm just happy that we escaped San Diego without getting alcohol poisoning because we got some crazy friends out there.
Amen to that. Well, we could have got a little bit of alcohol poisoning, but we won't talk about that.
For sure. I wasn't feeling the best. All right, man. Well, let's get right into this. Let's go ahead and take a look at some GHB stuff. Let me pull up my little PowerPoint that I made. Go ahead and leave a comment if you think that your PowerPoint skills are better than mine, because they probably are. Here we are. I really know how to set things up around here. All right, let me get a little sip of my apple juice, wet my whistle so we can talk here.
I'm going to join you.
Okay. General's Handbook 2022. This is a tactics talk number 3 in the series that we're doing. This is going to be a battle plan review and discussion. So we're going to talk specifically about the battle plans. This is going to be really exciting. We've both gotten a couple practice games in on different battle plans, so we can go into depth on those once we get there. All right, first thing I want to do is give a big shout out to all the members. We've got one Lord and a bunch of Knights, and you guys are really helping us to support this channel so we can keep making content like this. Big shout out to Black Copper, who is not listed because I just realized he had joined the membership service earlier today. One big announcement is we get to start a Discord now because we have hit our first milestone with our membership drive. So we're going to start a public Discord with a members section. We also are going to do a member voted army at 25, and at 50 we're going to do a raffle where everybody's involved. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Once again, thank you so much, all of you. You are the ones that are making this happen. All right, let's get right into it, Jared. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
I talk too much, so let's have you read this first one.
All right, the first battle plan is going to be the Prize of Gallet. If I'm saying that like Gallet, something.
Gallet.
Like
I'm going to call it Gallet.
Gallet.
Bother people.
Tectonic shifts and the mysterious craters of the tunnels beneath its surface have exposed many rich deposits of amber bone. Claim these notes for yourself whilst denying them to the foe. Armies, as they're set up, each player picks an army and then they roll off. The winner chooses which player is the attacker and which is the defender. I'll probably just read this first portion once and then
so it's the same battlefield roles as before. Yeah. So
defender sets at the battlefield, such and such. Yeah. If you play with terrain rules, you'll roll the 8 dice and then you'll place them on different terrain if you're the defender. Yep. And then first they set up objectives as shown on the map. Then they set up a recommended number of terrain features shown on the pitch battle table. Deployment.
Yeah, so let's talk about the special parts of this one. The special parts. Now it's 5 objectives, obviously. Let's talk about how you score this, though. It's pretty interesting.
So this will be scored by each player scores victory points at the end of each of their turns as follows. Score 1 victory point if you control at least 1 objective. Score 1 if you control 2 or more. Score 1 if you control more objectives than your opponent. That's hold 1, hold 2, hold more, as we know. Score 2 victory points if completed. If you completed the battle tactic you picked that turn. And then, as we know, grand strategies. Each player scores 3 victory points at the end of the battle if they completed their grand strategy. Yep.
So the grand strategies are hard right now. I mean, check out the video that I did just a couple days ago with Michael. If you haven't looked into those yet, they're hard, man. But this one is interesting because you can only activate the objective if you're going second. So if you decide to take the first turn, it's going to be really hard for you to score. you can't activate your own objective until battle round 2. So this is kind of a cat and mouse type of battle plan. It's pretty interesting.
I like this one because, you know, David, it seems a lot more interactive. Like when your opponent does pick one, you know, obviously they'll usually do the proving grounds on it, especially if they see how you're deployed. So Wargamers, you really want to make sure that you have Galatian veterans pretty well spread out, especially if you're only a 6-inch move, 5-inch move, to be able to get on these objectives if you're going first. Because if you don't, you're going to miss out on your first scoring opportunities.
Right.
Because not until like you said, not until the second battle round will you be able to even activate whoever goes second, the objective in your territory.
Sure. So, I mean, you're standing on an objective, but it doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? The battle tactics are harder now. You can't control an objective. You can't control more objectives than your opponent in the first turn. That's just not going to happen unless you take the one that they activate. It's going to be a tricky one. This is going to be a turn 2 one for sure. I enjoy it. I like that it's 5 objectives, but it's really, I mean, it's not going to be, all those objectives are probably not going to get I mean, they'll all get activated, but one of them is not going to happen until the 5th battle round. So
yeah, the last one will be done.
Yeah, you got to have enough Galatian veterans to get on those points. That's a really good point. The proving grounds is tricky in the battle plan that I've played, and yeah, this is no difference. So that's a pretty straightforward one. Not a whole lot to say there. Why don't we go ahead and get into the next one?
Alrighty.
All right, I'll read through this one. So this one is called the Realmstone Cache. Single objective for the first 2 battle rounds, right in the middle. So you smash into each other, right? Now, start of battle round 3, the objective explodes into 2. And if you'll notice that it'll be in a line, right? So it's either going to be in a diagonal line either way, or it's going to be straight across the middle. And that's pretty interesting. I mean, everything is so compact in this battle plan, though. I mean, look at that. Half of the battlefield isn't really being used.
Absolutely. This is a direct confrontation right here for 2 battle rounds.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty gnarly. This is almost like the Vice, except for you end up with more objectives instead of less objectives as the game goes on. The thing that really irks me about this one, though, is the deploy. Like, look at the deploy. I mean, it's 30 inches across and 11 inches long.
I'm thinking about endless spells right now, David. I'm like, dang, you're all like, if you're a big army and you're just deploying in there, you're all clumped up. Hello, Purple Sun.
I know, exactly. And think about like Ideneth, Deepkin, and Sylvaneth that can just lay a bunch of terrain in your way. I mean, you could literally just get body blocked in your own territory for the whole game. Oh, well, the other thing I was going to say is faction terrain, right? Like being a Lumineth player, your faction terrain is pretty massive. That's got to fit in there too.
Absolutely, because I'm, you know, as a Lumineth player, I'm going to want that centered, like no more than 3 inches from the very edge of my deployment line towards that objective. So it's going to be in my way.
Yeah, it's going to be gnarly, man. I like the idea. I think it's cool, but at the same time, I think it's going to be super tricky for a lot of armies to be able to work around on this. It's going to be a diagonal line. It's going to be a diagonal line. So the middle one goes away.
No matter what.
Yeah, like the roughest thing that could happen, I think, is if they go out to the sides and you're stuck in your own territory, so then you just still don't score anything.
If you can't tell, Wargamers, I'm new to this too. It's a new world.
We're all new to this, man. I just played a whole battle report with Michael, and we missed a rule with his new Sylvaneth army. Poor guy. He's playing General's Handbook, and he's playing a new codex all at once. It's a lot, man. And this is almost like we're playing a new edition. Like this new season is so different. Like everything's different.
You have to be comfortable with failing battle tactics in this new edition.
Yeah, exactly. And grand strategies, dude. The grand strategies are freaking hard, man.
Strats.
They're all hard. Like it's just all bad with that kind of stuff. But yeah, so this one's cool. You're not going to see it in tournaments because it's too finicky. I don't think you're going to see it in tournaments.
Really? You don't think we'd see the catch?
No, I just think it's too,
because it's one-sided. Like you just smash in the middle.
I might be wrong. We'll see what happens. Battlelines Drawn, man.
Battlelines Drawn. This one, no objectives. Each corner of the battlefield controlled as objectives. Those armies that only have a few units, you really got to think about this one. Units must be wholly within to contest. I'm glad that they said that, because you could just go to that center little line right there with one unit, control it all.
Sure. Fully
Units
within,
cannot be
man.
removed and set up again. So none of that. Wait, that's an interesting rule. I'm gonna have to look into that before I make a comment.
No removed and set up again. So no teleports. No.
So we're talking
Caradrons
do not fly high.
Right. Exactly. Now, the other thing is like Bastion Karthalos is able to redeploy 2 units. You can't do that shit. You can't do any of that. So this is big, because like I rolled this battle plan with Michael today. He was playing Sylvaneth, and I rolled it and I was like, you can't redeploy, brother. And he's just like, what? And he was like so bummed. I was like, all right, we won't do it. But like, if you're playing Sylvaneth and you run Battlelines Drawn, you can just like, I mean, you're not going to have to pack it in. They're still a good army. But the fact that you can't teleport through the trees just cuts all their mobility in half.
I'm over here still blown away about Caradrons right now.
Yeah, Caradrons. You can't translocate with Stormcast Eternals. There's all kinds of ways that you remove stuff and set it back up. So that's huge. I really like this one because it's super like fresh and different from a lot of the other battle plans. Some of these are just rinsed from previous battle plans and changed just a tiny little bit, but this is fresh. The fact that you're like in a cavern and you can't leave is pretty cool. So that one will be fun. You have to be wholly within. Each quarter counts as a objective, which you've already stated. So this is going to be a fun one.
Hold more, baby. There it is.
Yeah, this is going to be a great one for hordes, right? Like you just work your way across the board, and it's really hard for an elite player to stop you. Pretty much.
That Bone Splitters list, man. He's going to control the whole map. I'll tell you what.
He's going to win it all. I just saw somebody on Age of Sigmar Trade Sell Post looking for 10 big stabbers. I think he's probably seen that list.
Don't bring me back.
It's so funny because we saw that list in person. Bad. I mean, you saw it up close and personal.
It didn't matter what I did. You kill one of those units, they're chucking a spear at you for mortal wounds. You're like, no!
I think, I mean, that's what we're going to see. We're going to see a bunch of crazy combos, man. I don't think anybody really knows what it's going to be. All right, let's move on to number 4, man. Go ahead. You played this one today. Tell me about it.
Lurkers. Valuable lessons to learn here. But first off, we got 3 objectives for the battle. Oh, look at that. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, David. Cannot control objectives in battle round 1.
Hey, man, I told you. I don't know how to do PowerPoint. It took me 7 hours to do this, man. Don't rip on my PowerPoint. They're both equally as important. That's why.
They're both number 1 importance right there.
Yeah.
Number 3, we have you must control border objective before center. 4, must control center before enemy.
Right.
And then lastly for 5, you auto win and control all 3. Guys, this is not guys and gals, I should say.
I think we have like 2 women that watch our channel, so you can say
guys and gal.
There's like 2 of them. Whatever you identify as,
where you're not going to be scoring victory points. This is what was that mission from? David, do you remember 3.0s? Well, we're in 3.0 still. The last GHB where you won just by controlling. What was that?
Yeah. Maybe marking territory? Marking territory.
Something like that.
You have to control all 4, but you don't score points. You just have to
this is a struggle. Straight down the lane. We're talking, you guys might hear me say this a lot. We're talking those supermodels, incarnates, Godtrick. This is where they're going to shine. You have one path to go down, and if you don't go down that path, you're just going to lose because they're going to pile drive through it.
Right, exactly. And like what I'm thinking about is like just putting like Galatian veterans that are expert conquerors behind a bunch of bounty hunters and just like walking forward. It's going to be, This one's cool. Like, I dig it, man. Like, you got to gain ground. You got to hit each rung of the ladder, and you can't do it until battle round 2. You can't even start until battle round 2. That makes this a pretty sick battle plan because, like, theoretically, you could win in the 3rd battle round, but any good player, there's no freaking way you're going to just auto win in the 3rd battle round.
No, absolutely. Yeah, you're going to grind each other's army down.
Yeah.
You're going to be forcing everything into each other, forcing it right into each other.
Once again, man, 50% of the battlefield is not being used.
Correct. It's
You know what I'm saying?
literally
I mean, you
that
can
little
deploy.
line there, that black little line there is literally the lane in which both armies are going to be meeting each other. I mean, there will be
Right,
some
exactly.
sneaky moves
Like the
around the
only
sides,
reason you're
sure, but
yeah. The only reason you're going on the flank is if you're super fast. So maybe like double
exactly.
moving Dawn Riders or 16 moving Archon or Cavalry or something like that. Yeah, I like this one, man. You basically, it's just a slugfest.
And what you have to realize, Wargamers, is you are 30 inches apart on this one. Do not forget that 30 inches is a lot of space between you and your opponent.
Yeah.
Drastic.
Geez, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you were super far away. Holy cow.
Yeah,
I
so
dig it.
I mean, if you have an opportunity to pass off that first turn, you should do it, because as a Lumineth player, I could not even take advantage of going first, as well as I can in other missions. This one was a struggle. I think out of the 30 block of Sentinels, don't judge me, 6 of them were actually able to shoot something in my opponent's deployment zone because
Yeah.
of terrain and how things were moving around and how I
Well,
had
and
to
you
get
played
around some
Sylvaneth,
things.
right? So
I
you
was up
probably
against
just
Sylvaneth.
hung out way back and then just teleported around.
Yeah, you can
New
definitely set
Sylvaneth
up
rules are
comfortably
broken,
here.
guys. They're good. Super good.
Absolutely.
Yep, super, super good. Alariel is almost unkillable.
I like her.
Unless you
It's
can
a
shoot
5-up if
everything.
she gets shot off on the first turn.
Yeah. So
Bring
she
her back.
has she has a chance of just coming back. Yeah. If you don't kill her in the first 2 battle rounds, you just shouldn't even try, because you're just
Shouldn't
going to
try
waste a
after
bunch of
that.
damage on
Yeah.
her. Just get ready to take flat 5 damage, flat 6 damage attacks, let her cast, whatever. You probably are going to want some wizards too, because the new endless spells are freaking good.
I'm
They're
all
really,
wizards,
really good.
baby.
Yeah. So this is a great one. This is a 5 battle round game, honestly. Unless an army is just super stronger than you, I mean, you're gonna be going down to grand strats and battle tactics, and if you win, it's gonna be in the 4th or the bottom of the 4th or top of the 5th battle round.
Absolutely. And I also see a few armies actually excelling here really well. And one of those is going to be Daughters of Cain, because they are rolling down that line. Marathi's rolling down the line. She's tying up your goodies. She's fighting there, taking her 3 wounds per turn, while those bow snakes are getting nice and close and in the right spots, because you ain't going anywhere else. You're not kiting these bow snakes. You're not moving
Kite to
away
where?
from them.
Kite to the
where are you
outside
kiting
of the
to?
battlefield and
Okay,
not score?
all your stuff is not on an objective
Right,
any
right,
longer.
right.
Like, this is, I see this right now, and I see this as a very good Daughters of Cain match.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Cameron, our
Cameron
buddy from the
Allen.
Rage Babies. He's got an Incarnate and Marathi in his list with reinforced bow snakes in the back. If he sees this,
he's frothing at the mouth. He's
like, he might have to go change his underwears if he pulls this in a tournament, dude. Yeah, Lurkers below, that's a win. That's a winner for me.
That's a win.
Presence of Idols, this one's garbage. I'm going to talk about this one and why it's garbage. So it's a 3 objective battle. You pick 3 idol units starting with the attacker. If you fail a battle shock within 6 inches of an idol, you half the number of models that flee. That's so situational and ridiculous. I mean, Soul Blight, Skaven, they'll dig it. What do you think?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I absolutely agree. It would have to be those high model count armies that are really going to care about this. At any given time, usually you lose. If you roll bad on a battle shock test for like Vindicators, you lose 1. So, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Half the models that flee. Okay, 1 still runs. You know what I mean?
This is very good for those Horde armies.
Yeah, this is a good one to see because it's straightforward. It's like, okay, well, that rule is garbage, so it doesn't really matter. So now I can just focus on playing a 3 objective game. But yeah, some armies will benefit from this. This is a good one to pull with Soul Blight. But the thing is if you're not kidding to worry about Battle Shock and other battle plans and just hoping that you play this one, then I mean, you probably already have a plan, right? Like you take the Triumph to ignore Battle Shock, maybe take a Warlord Battalion and pull an extra Triumph and hope that you get it, stuff like that. So it is what it is. This is like the one where you pick Predators, except for way less impactful.
That's what I was gonna say. The Predator, like the last GHB, when you pick your Predator units and they hunt each other. Because I was noticing right there, the extra score of victory points is between idols killing each other.
Oh, holy cow! I didn't see that.
Yeah, you got the hold one, hold two, hold more, and you get that additional if you can have your idol hunt the other idols. So, like for me, I'm putting these on my sentinels, I'm putting them on my foxes. Like I'm going
sure.
after those hard targets.
That's pretty good to put on sentinels. All
Yeah,
right, I didn't see that piece. That makes it a little bit better. The battle shock thing doesn't matter though.
no,
Quote me right now. Nobody
that'll
cares.
come up. That'll come up rarely,
Yeah.
if ever. Most
Yeah.
people have that extra command point in their pocket to auto pass anyway.
For sure, for sure. I like that you get an extra victory point if you kill an idol with an idol. All right. It's medium crap now instead of total crap. All right. Nidus Paths. This is a fun one. Go ahead and read the Nidus Path, bro.
So number one here, we got 4 objective battle, and these are all in a perfect little square there. Tunnels, make believe, baleful realm gates.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's what they are.
They
you
are.
just don't need the terrain anymore.
When I think Nidus, I'm thinking StarCraft 2, Zerg, Nidus, like those Nidus worms that transport Zerg between each side. Like I can't see it the way that they see it.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah. I mean,
you can teleport late game, party in enemy territory.
Yeah. So what's up with those Nidus Paths that are in the corners over there? So okay, that'll help you nab an objective too.
So I see it as like your full commit. Like if you commit to those objectives that are on the border of your enemy territory or attacker and defender territory, and you win on that objective, then you have a shortcut to teleport to the other side to go after your opponent if they have the opposite objective. I like that.
Sure. Yeah. This turns every army into a Sylvaneth army, I guess. So like
teleporting all over the place.
I can't stop thinking about that army, dude, because their new rules are insane. But yeah, that's a whole other talk. But yeah, the thing about this is a smart player that has enough bodies can zone pretty well. So absolutely. It's going to be tricky to get through this Nidus Pass. It's the same thing that Baleful Realm Gates are. It's the same thing. Like you have to be wholly within, and you come out the other side. But a lot of the time, if somebody knows that, they're literally just going to stand there.
So yeah, for Nidus Path A, I agree with you 100% there. If you have a large enough army, you'll be able to zone that one out. Make sure nothing can come out within 9 inches of that. I think that's what, a quarter of the edge there, of that little of the 11 by. I think that's 11 by 15 right there.
Each Nidus Path is located at the corner of the battlefield.
Yeah, you could easily have a unit back there if you have, a large army, cheapy weepies protecting that. But you'd only really need to do that if you can notice that your opponent is over there ready to transport through it. A desert back there, you could probably afford not to watch that, really.
Yeah. And the way I play, I never really play to like fly behind the opponent unless, I try to just pick and choose the units that I engage and just try to, lift one piece at a time and go from there. But it's nice to have that extra utility. It's a late game thing, dude. People are going to be able to block until they're like, well, I'm losing my flank over there. Now I have to move away from the corner of the battlefield so I can continue holding objectives, getting battle tactics, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, it's a good one. I like it because it's fresh. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Very fresh. And there's a chance, because as far as I'm reading here, you can still declare a charge once you go through the Nidus Path. So if your opponent is close enough on that objective and you're 9 inches away, you have a chance at stealing an objective depending on how that fight, pans out.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just like Deep Strike, except for anybody can do it if they're wholly within 6 of the Nidus Path. Yeah. It's got a cool name. That one's a win, I guess.
Yeah, I think this one will be fun. I like this one.
It's fresh. It's certified fresh. All right. Mighty and Cunning. There's 4 objectives in the middle of the battlefield. Objectives can be picked for proving grounds multiple times. Yeah, so multiple proving grounds is good for certain builds. It's a nightmare for other armies. But this one's interesting. So if you kill a Galatian veteran unit, you get extra points.
This bothers me.
Score 1 additional victory point if the enemy Galatian veterans unit. So if it's contesting an objective and you destroy it, you get 3 points. If you just kill a Galatian veteran unit, you get 2. So you get to do multiple proving grounds, which makes Galatian veterans cool and awesome. But if you take lots of Galatian veterans, so the proving grounds benefit you, then when they die, the opposing player gets extra points. So that's an interesting one.
Yeah, this one reminds me of the leader mission from the last GHB where only leaders could control objectives. This one seems a lot more punishing for the GHB that we're in. This one is like, hey, we are pushing for Galatian veterans, but there's going to be a mission out there that hates on your Galatian veterans really bad. Because when I look at like some of the army builds that I've had, there's like 6 Galatian veteran units that I don't want to be Galatian veterans, but they qualify as that. Forking over, if it's just 4 units, I'm forking over 8 victory points. And if people stay the same, like some armies like spam flies, come after you and they slam right into you. This is their, excuse me for saying, but their wet dream, just like it says on Bounty Hunter's wet dream right there. This is their wet dream because they will table me and collect those victory points. You will score so high if you are playing like the GHB wanted you to with Galatian veterans.
Yeah, I think one thing that we're starting to notice is there's going to be a lot more variability in the games that you play. It's going to be hard to tech a list that can always win. Except for Seraphon, they always win.
Man, I hate Nurgle. That's my kryptonite, man.
Yeah, I got riggedy wrecked by Nurgle when he came out here. My buddy Joel played again. I brought Fire Slayers with GoTrek and charged. Didn't know what the Bile Piper did. It was not a good time. Check that video out if you want to see me play like a 5-year-old fool. Good job, Joel. You crushed me. He's gonna come out here again.
Piper's got some rules in his pocket.
Yeah, no pylons, dude. No pylons with GoTrek. I lost in 3 battle rounds, and GoTrek never fought once.
I think they call that the stinky fart song or something. It's got some silly name.
Wetter than a fart or something. Yeah. Wet fart. The wet fart song. All right, man. Head-on collision. I like to call it the car crash.
Just so you know, Wargamers, I'm giving that last one an F.
Yeah, that last one. No, thank you. I don't like it. They should have made that 2 different battle plans. Like, make one where you get extra points for killing Galatian veterans. Make one where you get extra points on proving grounds, but don't put them together because it just washes out the different abilities. You know what I mean? It's like putting a hat on a hat and then taking them both off and putting them in the garbage. I don't like it. All right, read about the car crash, dude.
Car crash. This is another straight line between you and your opponent. But we've got
How is it different?
I know, like you are literally grinding in a small zone towards your opponent again. Those super model units, man, they are going to shine.
Yeah.
I'm calling it now. This is a 3 objective battle. No objective control battle round 1. Score higher in center and big in the enemy zone. That's score 4, I think. Is it a score 4 in enemy? Yes.
Yeah, it's 1, 2, and 4.
And then meat shields within 6 get you that extra VP with a Galatian veteran unit. You get your bonus VP when you finally control yours, but then you'll not get it again unless it gets recycled. Like the enemy comes over and say, "Well, take it away from you." Yada yada yada. Yeah, you're getting into each other here. 100%.
Yeah, except for it's diagonal.
Straight across.
Car crash? Hell yeah, bring it on. I'm ready for the car crash, dude. Head-on collision. I'm gonna give that a minor win, not a major win, but a minor win.
This one, yeah.
Won't back down.
I love this one.
Yeah. Well, of course you love this one.
I love this
Sentinels.
one.
Sentinels rallying on a 4-up.
Come back.
Yeah, you play a horde army, 60 zombies. You kill 40 of them with shooting, and then 25 of them come back. Yeah, this is great. It's great because if you are like, I don't really like god models or monsters, I'm just gonna run a bunch of MSU, and you could just have the greatest time just bringing them back.
Oh yeah.
You know who likes this a lot too is dragons. Like if I have a 4-man unit of dragons and 3 die, I can rally them on a 5-up. It's insane, dude.
Well, you don't need that, David. In one of our games, you rallied 2 dead dragons on 2 6s after all that hard work.
Yeah, I rolled boxcars, baby, in tourney. But if I remember correctly, you beat me by 1 point because I missed my battle tactic on round 5.
That was a close match.
Oh man, I was sweating.
Sweaty.
I was licking my lips.
I thought it was the room.
I looked like a crackhead. I was like trying to figure out what I was doing. Like That was insane. And we were playing at ABU games, and it was so hot in there that I had like pit stains and
It had all the Super Smash Brother players in there, which were like 40 of them, and they were all getting greasy and sweaty too.
oh,
The
that was insane.
tournament.
That was something else, man. Yeah. Where the heck are we? Oh, won't back down. Okay, so there's 2 on the border, there's 2 in your territory, and there's 2 in the enemy territory. This is pretty cool. You have to be wholly within 6 of an objective that you control, and then that rally ridiculousness is active. That's freaking cool, dude.
That's so good. Galatians getting it on a 4. Ooh.
Right, exactly. That's amazing. Like, try killing Soulblight with 200 wounds when they're already bringing back 40, 60 wounds a game, and then add that in. Yeah, dude.
I see this though. We see 6 objectives. I see 6 objectives. I respect it, but once again, when I see a mission like this, it looks like there's only really 2 lanes you're really going into. If you're a teleportation army, you'll be able to take advantage of those objectives that are in your opponent's territory that are in the back, but you're having to grind through their defenses on those halfway lines, and there's only 2 ways in.
Yeah. I like this because it uses the whole freaking table. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's an empty spot in the middle, and then there's just a bunch of objectives. So you can come in on board edge, you can teleport, you can flank. You're playing the game. You know what I'm saying? You're not just like smushing into each other.
There's 2 lanes instead of that 1 lane.
Yeah, I think that is good mission design right there. It's got a crazy, awesome rule that doesn't just benefit Galatians. If you're playing elites, right? Like the Dragon example is one. Fulminators as bounty hunters coming back. I mean, there's some craziness that could occur. I mean,
+1 damage fulminators. Oh man.
Oh yeah. I have my horde idea, and then I have my elite just kill everything idea. There's so many new things.
Elite units just as much as they could handle, Galatian veterans.
Yeah. So yeah, there's lots of play. That one is a big win for sure. Silksteel Nests. I played this one today. I played against Lumineth with a Bone Reaper army. Imagine trying to hold your own 4 objectives with a Bone Reaper army against Lumineth with Alariel and Durthu and teleportation.
You don't have the archers yet. You're fighting that one.
It was close, man. I only lost by a couple points, dude. There's 1,000 objectives here. 1,000 objectives. Starting from the second battle round, you can ransack an objective. You got to be within an inch of it, and you can only burn 1 per turn.
I'm glad that they kept
only 1 juicy pillage. This is just like Feral Foray, except for you have 2 extra objectives. It's really hard because you have to string out your whole army. Once again, making battle plans that benefit hordes and battle line armies, right?
Yeah, I like this a lot.
Yeah, it's really good. And once you burn it, this is a really interesting thing. So when you burn an objective, you have to roll 2 dice for every single unit that's within 9 of the one that you burn. And if you beat the leadership with the roll or match it, then that unit takes D3 mortal wounds. So
it burns you.
Yeah, so basically when you pillage an objective, the ability is called Scuttling Horrors. Apparently a bunch of spiders run out and eat your face off.
I love it.
So it's pretty cool. It's like, all right, I'm going to burn this objective, but I might take some mortal wounds. Today, I did that with Archon and a Gothazar Harvester, and they both are Bravery 10, and they both rolled 10s. So Archon took a mortal wound, and the Gothazar Harvester took 3 mortal wounds when I burned the objective.
Oh, I'm going to burn this one. Oh, I killed my Lore Seeker. Awesome.
It's cool, man. It's cool. I don't like more than 6 objectives, though, for multiple reasons. All my sets of objective markers are 6. So I'm like, crap. Everybody's like, we can't see your objectives when we're filming battle reports, So we've got a set of 6 clear objective.
Like the ring ones? The really cool
big
ring
ones.
Oh, yeah. I love those. I need to get some.
I know, and I was so stoked to use them today, and then we pulled this. So I wasn't able to use it. We had to use some 3D printed stuff and some of the tokens that we got at the Seattle Open. So this one's super fun. It's really hard if you're elite. Bone Reapers aren't hyper elite. I still had 50 Mortet Guard, 2 Gothazar Harvesters, some Necropolis Stalkers and stuff. So I was able to hold most of my objectives, and we kind of played the dance of death and just kind of, he was on one side of the board and I was on the other. Yeah, exactly. It's good. I wish it was 6 objectives. It's just a little much.
when I see this, I start frothing over foxes. Because this is where they shine. They shine on these missions because that
Yeah,
forces
because
your
you're just
opponent to
constantly
stand on
pressuring.
everything, or
Yeah.
he's gonna lose it.
Yeah, you're gonna probably be burning objectives on turn 2 with pretty much any army that you're playing, just because it's very hard to hold 4 objectives.
Very
It
hard.
just is. Even if you're a horde, it's just hard because like I built up one strong flank today, and then on the other side, my flank was kind of weak, and there's nothing I could do about it. I just didn't have enough models.
It's a weak flank.
Yeah, it's like, well, that flank's weak. And Alariel just hit it and just riggedy wrecked it. And I'm like, well, I knew that was going to happen. So I guess I'll go all the way over to the other side.
I love it.
Yeah, I dig it. This is medium cool. I'm giving it a medium cool again. All right, read this one, my man.
Close to the chest. 6 objective battle. Opposing player picks an alpha. Troll your opponent. So I did watch this on a battle report. Most of the time, you're going to be picking the objective that you are most able to defend.
Sure. It's like, this one's worth extra points if you can get to it.
You can pick, so you'll always pick the one on the opposite side of where the battle's taking place that you control. It's always going to be the most distant objective. So it'll be a little bit more difficult unless you're a fast-moving army to really take advantage of that alpha objective.
Yeah. This deploy is cool. The L deploy.
I love that. It's like a cool Tetris looking thing we got going on.
Yeah. So, the skinny side on both sides, I'm going to call it the panhandle because I'm from Idaho. The panhandle, you can deploy over there, but you have like a 4-inch wide spot. So you can't deploy everything right there. You can put like a few little units right there to run at that objective, but you're going to have to put the bulk of your army in the fat part of the deploy. I almost feel like I wouldn't put anything over there, and I would just push over into the panhandle and just hold 3 objectives and then just play points, depending on what kind of army I'm running, of course.
Absolutely.
The thing is you have to pick an alpha, right? So like if your opponent is all over you, then it's going to be hard for you to pick one. You're going to be like, oh, what one do I pick? I could lose any one of them.
Yeah, the battle report I was watching, the battle was just taking place in a different spot. So they just kept alpha objectiving the opposite ends of where the battle was really taking place.
Okay. Turf war, baby. This is the last one. I call this one the street fight. This is a street fight. 2 objectives. So usually I've been complaining because 50% of the battlefield is unavailable to you. This is using 25% of the battlefield.
Absolutely.
No reserves. Oh, that's a fun little paladin list you made. How about you just deploy normally? That's right. Summon units are hungover. They're dragging ass. They can't shoot. They can't charge. They just stand there like dribbling fools and do nothing. It's called the claustrophobic killing grounds. And it's going to be claustrophobic. You're not going to be able to breathe.
Definitely going to be claustrophobic.
This is like the vice for the whole game.
Incarnate 1 objective, 1,500 points. The other objective.
No, I win.
I win.
Yeah, this is all about elite list tech. I think elites are going to just obliterate horde armies and everything because once they get on that objective, they're just so killy. You're done.
I find us deviating away from players. If these become like missions that every tournament will use randomly, I see players starting to deviate away from bringing those models that give you an edge when it comes to reserves, like the Lord Imperatant.
Right.
Bringing him in this scenario, worthless. Okay, great. I get a free command point.
Like the other one with the caverns where you can't set up again. That makes the Lord Relictor and the Lord Imperatant like iffy takes. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Like you really have to think that one out. You will have missions where they're not going to do their job.
Dude, yeah, and I'm so bummed that they didn't do something about the Khorne Demon Prince because he just breaks any Deep Strikers list. So and Legion of the First Prince just got stronger again because pink ores and stuff aren't priority targets anymore. So dude, I've got so many Stormcast things, dude. I can make any kind of list, and I just I really can't pin something down that I like, aside from just continuing to run dragons as bounty hunters and just having the best time ever with them.
It came at a cost though, because Bellicor, lost his pass off. So
Yeah.
if you have the
Yeah.
capabilities of lifting a model, you can lift Bellicor
Oh yeah. Yeah.
relatively soon now.
Yeah.
Instead
I
of him
think,
surviving to the very end, like he normally does in some of my games. I just don't pay
yeah, he
attention.
was immortal for a while. Immortal if you know how to play him.
Oh yes.
Yeah, the street fight is a win. It's just going to be tough. It's going to be tough depending on what you're playing, what kind of army you play. I mean, if you're somebody like you or me, Jared, and we have lots of different armies and stuff like that, it's like, okay, cool. Like maybe I'll shelf my Stormcast for a while and play Soulblight, which is the worst thing ever. After playing 11 models in tournaments and stuff, I'm like, let me put my 195 models on the board.
You need a movement tray, man.
I know, dude.
Know.
And then
that
like,
stressed me out.
And you're moving them like, okay.
Like in poker, that stick they use to move like the chips around. You need one of those.
It's the worst, dude. It's the worst. I don't think I have the stomach to play 5 games at a GT with Soulblight Gravelords. Y'all mofos that do that, you're crazy,
tire
man.
me out.
Like, dude, I know. Like, just having 11 models, I'm like, I'm tired at the end of the day. I don't know, man. Like, I think they're good, and I think I can make some pretty strong, good lists with them. But, dude, that's like, you're playing twice as much as the person across the table from you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, this is a good one. I mean, the no reserves thing, that just hurts. Because there's armies that are just kitted to be coming out of reserve. So
absolutely, and want to take advantage of it. So,
all right, let's go to Dave's hot takes. Let me move this over here.
The hot takes.
All right, can you still hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't mute myself on accident. Here's my final thoughts, kids. Interesting new rules.
Very interesting.
Very situational special rules. Definitely going to throw games. There are some that are. There's some where you're like, yeah, baby. You're like, I got this.
I got this. Game today.
And there's some where you're like, you can just max points. I'm just going to go sit and drink beer until the next game. So, yeah, it's crazy, wild changes, man. Like way more than I thought it would be. So that's something. Not holding objectives turn 1. There's multiple missions. What I noticed is that's going to force other battle tactics, and it's just going to make it trickier to score early on. So you're going to have to think really hard about how to make points early on in the game.
Can I add a little bit on 3?
Yes, you may.
Wargamers. This I learned as a hard lesson. Definitely read over those battle tactics, especially on the missions where you cannot. I think was the Lurkers from below.
Yeah.
If you don't have specific battle tome related battle tactics, like I don't as a Lumineth player yet, you really have only one choice if you're going first. And that for me was kill a Galatian unit with a Galatian unit. And I failed that battle tactic today. Really read those over if you guys ever play Lurkers mission, because there's a chance that you will not be able to even get your first battle tactic if you're going first. It's tough. There's not a lot of options. The only other one I could look at was have 2 in your opponent's deployment zone. And I was like, I don't have my foxes, so I can't even get over there.
There's no way.
There's no way.
That's interesting. Yeah. Lurkers, dude. Lurkers. Yeah, that's a tough one. The battle tactics are harder. They're doable, but they're harder. And it's going to take a while of playing. Like, remembering eye for an eye. Like, I lost a unit last turn, so I should probably do eye for an eye now instead of Savage Spearhead or instead of killing something with my general. Like, we all need to get games in and figure out what our rotation of battle tactics is going to be, because they're so different, dude.
And a lot of the missions flip them around. Gone are the days of ferocious advance first turn.
Yeah. Yeah, the best first turn one that I see is hold an objective
advance
with a Galatian veteran that's not. Right. Yeah, I mean, the first game was very fun, man. But yeah, it's a different game, man. It really is.
It is.
Proving grounds are going to be a tactical tool, right? We all know that. If you're smart about how you're picking proving grounds, you're going to deny just 1 point here, 1 point there, maybe save yourself from losing an objective here and there. It's going to be massive.
This could make game-breaking differences, but the one thing I noticed is if your opponent gets an opportunity to use it and they don't play Galatian veterans, they always use it, as we know. Why wouldn't you?
Right,
they'll call out the ones that are the most inconvenient for them. So if you have an option of going second, really think about that portion of it too, because they're going to want to be picking all the objectives that you're going to want to pick, just so they can get them out of the way and you can't do it later.
All right, so I'm going to do one last one, and then I'll turn it over to you if you have any other final thoughts. So the last one is make sure to always take a good bounty hunter battalion. If you're not taking a bounty hunter battalion right now, you're missing out on a lot of extra damage, because there's going to be Galatian veterans all over the place, So take something that can do some damage, can also hold objectives, and just have fun, man. Go to town. It's going to be great.
I couldn't agree more there. I mean, I had to change my list around to incorporate some of these bounty hunters, but at the same time, this is brand new GHB, as we both know. We don't know what this meta is going to look like. I bet you some players are going to keep the same army list. We'll still see spam dragons. We'll still see spam flies.
Yeah,
we'll be seeing essentially some of the same lists still, because they're still effective. They're not any less effective now. If anything, they became more effective because we lost priority targets. Monsters can now get away with smashing and roaring at you because you can't do anything about it. You can't. Is that one battalion? I forget. That makes it so you don't. Monsters.
Hunters of the Heartland.
Thank you.
Yeah, no hunters.
Now my army can come at you, and it doesn't need to change a whole lot.
Right, exactly. I still feel pretty good about my list that I took to Seattle Open: 2x4 dragons, 2x5 vindictors, and a knight draconis.
Oh,
just make the dragons bounty hunters and just have the best time ever. It's sure, I can't alpha you like I used to, but if you try to alpha me and even one dragon survives, I can rally him. I can still shoot in the hero phase. I mean, there's still all kinds of stuff they can do, and I can take them as bounty hunters and then still run Stormkeep, so the Vindictors are just 3 on objectives, and they can just hang out in the back, and then they're not getting affected by bounty hunters,
Absolutely.
So I still got some play, man. I'm still gonna take Stormcast to the Boise Cup, dude, and see how I can do. Kansas City will.
You're a Stormcast player, man. You are.
I know, but if I get my shit kicked in at the Boise Cup, I'm probably gonna take something different to Kansas City.
Just don't get me round 1 like we always do.
I know, dude. I just want to go 5-0 just once, but I feel like the time has passed with the Dragons, and they're a 3-2, 4-1 army now, and that's okay. I mean, I didn't buy them because they were ridiculous. I bought them because they're cool. They're cool, they're fun, they have great rules, and they had to take away that hero phase move. Could you imagine 2 units of 4 dragons with bounty hunters just smashing into all your Galatians turn 1?
You'll get to pick the fight. You would get to pick the fight.
Right, exactly. So they lost some utility, but they gained some damage, and they're still going to be a lot of fun. So
I was interested
good stuff.
Already.
And you know what? I say roll with the punches. If you're really into this game and you like the challenge, then you're playing dragons on medium mode instead of easy mode. You know what I'm saying? You can't just wreck half of the armies that you play anymore. You have to play tactically. And with priority targets, that taught us dragon players to play tactically anyway. It's fine. It's I will adapt, overcome, and I'll keep playing other armies because it's fun, and we have tons of different content to bring to the community. So
yeah, I still think bringing even a couple dragons in any type of list is still extremely strong.
Hell yeah. They're fantastic. It's going to be good. Well, Jared, I think we need to get together soon. Let's put together maybe 2 or 3 lists each of some of the armies that we like to play. And let's do some a list tech talk, maybe take an hour and talk about some fun new lists that we've thought up after we get a couple more games under our belts, maybe in a week or 2. And we're going to be doing list streams and tactic talks probably every Monday and Tuesday, Michael and I, and you're always welcome to come and join us.
I would absolutely love to do that. I think there's a lot I can share with your Lumineth fan base, your Khorne fan base, not so much your Stormcast fan base, because I don't think I'm ever going to go back to them.
We got a lot of Stormcast players on the channel, dude. Because I think Stormcast was in 10 of our first 12 videos. Because Michael and I were both collecting them, and then the dragons came out, and I'm tired of them, but I'm good with them, so I'm going to keep playing them. But
I'm bad with them, so
yeah, I like them, dude. They're a Swiss Army knife. They're hard to podium with, but they're strong. So yeah, They're good. But yeah, we definitely want to have you back. And I really hope that you can make it to the studio sometime soon so we can film some games with your Lumineth, because you're one of the best Lumineth players I know, brother.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, David. And thanks for having me on the show as well. Like, this was awesome. I'm glad to be a part of this. I mean, it comes down to you and me talking about this in my garage many, many moons ago, man. We talked about doing this and now you're living it, but you're doing it in a different state. And now I miss you all the time. So
All right, brother. Well, everybody, thank you for watching. Once again, if you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Big shout out to our affiliate, Baron of Dice. You can check them out. There will be a link below if you like some awesome resin dice. And huge shout out to our members. I appreciate every single one of you. You're the ones that are making us bring this channel to the next level. Every single dollar, you're going to get your value. I really, really appreciate you. And Michael does too. All right, Jared, thanks a lot. And we'll see you guys for the next video.
appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, Wargamers. Take care, everybody.
Peace. Duckface. Peace.